Hey there, hi there, ho there. Welcome to Inside the Mix, episode 1, The Puppet. Today I'm going to go through this Pro Tools file, this Pro Tools session that was an absolute nightmare from start to finish, and break down some stuff for you guys, tell you some stories about some stuff you don't know regarding the Puppet, and hopefully you find this interesting. So, if we start right at the history of this song, 2 years ago when I decided to start writing music myself, the Puppet was probably within the first, I'd say, 5 songs that I wrote as a solo artist with the intentions of being a solo artist. And it was, of the first 5 songs that I wrote, it was probably the first one that I would say it felt like it fit my style, like personally. I'd written some other songs and they weren't bad, but they seemed like they were for other people. And I remember when I kind of heard the demo back for the first time after I did a rough mix on it, I just kind of felt like this was maybe the direction I should go, whatever this is. Now, with Cold Barbies, there's no intentions to stick to a course of the same style of music whatsoever. That's literally the whole point of this. This is a song writing experiment. How crazy can we get? How mainstream can we get? How far out there can we possibly get and have it all come from the same place, this bedroom? So let's talk about this a little bit. First off, this song's about Post Malone. It's not exactly about Post Malone, but it was inspired by him. I was watching a performance. I had just come home from work. I was watching a performance on TV, a live performance of Post Malone, and he comes out on stage, and he's got an acoustic guitar, and the lights are dim, and he starts singing this song. And it was an original song, I believe. And the way that I perceived it is completely different from the way that it actually happened. The way that I took it in was like, oh man, the crowd's not into this. But that's probably not even the case. And so the song isn't about me dissing Post Malone or anything like that. It's more so about the interpretation I had of one of his performances. So he comes out, he sits down on the stool, he has the acoustic, he plays the song. The crowd is just kind of like, nah, what's this? He gets off the stage, goes backstage, gets the mic. The mic's got the auto-tune. He comes out. They do Party Like a Rock Star. Everybody freaks out. And that line, pretend you're a king when all you are is a slave playing a game. That was the first line that I thought of in my head. And I went and I grabbed the acoustic guitar and I just started kind of playing around and singing that line a couple times. And I think the first part of this song that got written was the chorus, where, every song is completely different. Some songs, it's a verse, it's an intro, it's something, it's a guitar riff. But this song, it was like the lyric for the chorus came first, grabbed the guitar, played an A, sang to an A, and it was like, okay, I think I got something here. And at the time, the place I was working 3 13-hour days a week. And I was taking 4 days to write a song, record a song, mix a song, and then, go back to work. And I did that for a couple months, and that's how I started to get into the rhythm of writing music. And I remember this was like the first time that I kind of was going back to work with my rough demo, and I felt like I did something cool. The other thing about this song is that this was my recruiting song. This is how I got Eric into the band. For you that don't know, there's no piano in this song. This song is just me. But in Cold Barbies, there's another member, Eric, and Eric's an incredible piano player. And is a coworker of mine. We work at a music school, and I played him the demo for this, and he was like, "Sure, yeah, this is cool. We'll do something." And it turned into us, writing songs for a couple months together, and now we've got this backlog of songs that one at a time will come out for Cold Barbies. This is where it all started. It started with the puppet. We both agreed that this was a perfect mix of things. It's mainstream. It's a little bit heavier than the stuff that's normally on the radio. There's some musicianship in the song that's kind of hidden a little bit, and it's not terrible. So there's a good starting point. We'll start with this, give people an idea of what we do, and we'll move on. So let me jump into this mix a little bit. If we dive in, this is the first thing. Now this mix was this is my first mix ever that I've ever done. I've done so many little demos, but anybody who's into engineering, they know the difference between a demo and a master, that you're releasing out to the public. There's a huge difference. And if you dive into the very first guitar part of the song, you can hear this is the original guitar from the demo that I recorded over 2 years ago. That's it right there. I ended up re-recording, obviously everything, but I recorded, and this is the tone that I picked for that. It's got a lot more body to it, but something happened when I layered it in with these. I really liked the way it sounded. And it helped it cut through the mix because this part goes on actually for a while, and it kind of gets buried, but it's just something that goes. Now, if we move on to the first riff, I actually recorded all these guitars without any effects. The effects came later in post. So if I play, like the intro guitar. It's extremely dry, all the delay comes from here. That was just a decision I had made after playing with the delay that I had built into the preset that I was using. All the guitar on this song was recorded with my Axe FX2 that I just sold. I just sold like 2 days ago. I no longer have it. I'm no longer using the Axe FX for my guitars, but the story with that was like I recorded the guitars for the whole song, everything, and started mixing the song and realized this isn't going to work. Like I can't use these guitars. When I started getting into the mix, they had all these weird hissing sounds right around 5K, and it didn't matter how much I cut them, I was just thinning the sound out. So I re-recorded the guitars, and I realized like I'm gonna have to use this. I have to settle with this no matter what, because this is I don't know. I can't re-record them again. So yeah, this song really put up a fight. If you listen, I think the bass comes in here. There's through the whole entire song. There's dual track. It's not dual track. It's copy. There's a clean bass. Let's see here. Is this it? Maybe here. Yeah, that's the clean bass, and then there's this nice dirty layer over top of it. I'm not gonna get into that too much. Bass is boring. So what else did I write here? I made a little list to help me remember what in the world I wanted to talk about. Let's see here. Let's go into the chorus. We know the chorus. I'm going to skip ahead to the chorus. I want to break down a couple things because the chorus is kind of cool. There's some hidden guitar parts in there that I ended up turning them down so low in the mix, I don't think you even hear them. Let's see here. If we go to the chorus. something I wrote much later into the session. I think it was even like the third time I recorded the guitars or something, was this little lead line over the whole chorus, and it was based off of a vocal harmony. And it, like I said, it's so low in the mix you barely even hear it, but with the main, has a cool thing going on there. And then getting in, I mean, the guitars, going back through all the torture of what was this mix, hearing them, they don't sound, horrible. I ended up using a lot more gain the second time around. The first time I recorded them thinking I don't need that much gain, and then I ended up just like putting so much crap on them to try and make them sound bigger and better. And then the second time, that's when I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go through here. If we get into the vocals, vocals were how they are. Something you should know about me and my recording process: I suck at editing. I suck at editing vocals, guitar, bass, anything like that. Anything that involves editing, I suck at it. So I would rather do 200 takes of a vocal part or a guitar part and just keep what I got than to do 3 takes and edit it to make it perfect. So a lot of this stuff is raw in the sense of it's comped, things like that, but there's not a lot of, tuning on the vocals. There's not a lot of there's no comping on like the guitars, or the takes are pretty much whole takes, stuff like that. And that really is just because I suck at editing. So if we get into this chorus, there is the main line. Let's see here. So here's something I should play for you. Is throughout the entire song, I did a low octave copy of the main thing just to thicken up the vocal. And you can't hear this in the song, at least I don't think. It sounds like this. So good. There's this one too. Oh, you can't even hear that one. That's how low that ended up being. But yeah, in the context of it, you don't hear that, but it's there. It's through the whole song. So we got a double, we got a main. I mean, for any of you guys who mix music, this session is a nightmare. There's tracks everywhere. They have horrible names. This one says, literally, lead double for chorus thick with a question mark, because I really didn't know what I was doing. I copied the main vocal. I put one on the left, one on the right. I EQ'd them a little bit differently just to try and thicken up that main vocal. Chances are I could have just turned up the level of the main one and turned up the level of the double, and I would have been just fine. But, when you've got the processing power to just keep adding pointless tracks, why not do it, right? So there's that. We go back, we throw in our fuzz and our deep. Now there's 4 tracks of me singing this harmony. Again, I put it pretty low in the mix, but is pretend you're a king when all you are is a slave playing a game. It gave them everything, but now they're pulling. And then the last line has this really cool thing, and you can actually hear my wife get in on the track. I think this is going to be a thing because I need something. Every time I do a song, there's always one thing that I'm like, hey, can you come help me with this? She's 10 times the singer I am. So she always ends up helping with something. But this little part here, the ending, is kind of cool when you hear it. But now they're pulling the strings, making you pay. And that's her on the high harmony, because I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was that note was in a weird part of my range or something, but I just was having such a hard time just holding that note easily. And I don't know, I like I said, I quad tracked and double tracked a lot of these harmonies because I was just so afraid that I wasn't going to have enough. But this is the big selling point. This is where it all came from. This is what makes it big. Is there's, I think I did like 8 of me hitting this one note, just saying pretend, and then I summed it all up to one track and did the same thing with a lower harmony of it. And it really is that loud in the mix. But it was cool. It was cool. I don't even have any of these like, you know, channels on. I mean, geez, this probably sound better like this. Is pretend you're a king when all you are is a slave playing a game. It gave them everything, but now they're pulling the strings, making you pay. The puppet. The puppet. I hate this song. I don't think it's bad or anything. I just the crap this song put me through will forever haunt me in my sleep. And every time I hear the puppet, I just want to die. So I heard it so many times. I probably adjusted the volume on that line 3,000 times, you know, because it was my first mix and I was just double guessing like everything that I did. The puppet. Now this riff is, I don't know what you call it, the main hook riff, post-chorus riff. The only thing cool about this is that the harmonies aren't written to be exact harmonies. Sometimes they go up and down, the guitar harmonies specifically. But if we check out what's going on, there's some cool moments. I'll just play one of the main. This is... Then we got the harmonies. Oops. And that's cool. And then this happened again when I was coming in the third time to track guitars for this song. I, for whatever reason, just felt like it needed one more for a couple of different notes, so I ended up adding this. If I take out the main one, you can hear it a little bit better. It's a lot of guitars, and that's why the bass is so simple through this whole part. I actually tuned the bass down to drop A for just on the low E string, just for this riff of the song, just so I could track the really low A when this kicks in. So low. But that's what makes it kind of like... down there. Something else anybody should know about this song is that this all happened at the very beginning of the pandemic. I had booked... Well, I can't say booked. I had reached out to 3 different studios to track the drums. I was going to do all the other recording at home, and I was going to track the drums in a studio. I had been practicing at work. Like I said, I'm a music teacher, and there's drum sets at work. I had been practicing at work every single day for probably 2 months to a track that had no drums on it, just a click, and I was 100% certain that I could book 1 hour of studio time and get in a studio and just play the drums to the song in a take or two and be fine. I was very confident with where I was at. And then every studio just shut down and wasn't accepting people. And I had already postponed Cold Barbies 2-3 months longer than I wanted to, because I moved and I had to get set up, and then I needed to get a studio space, at home kind of set up so that I could do this, and everything was pushing it back. Then I had a problem with music distribution, and I had to push 1 month further so that I could get a solid, release, and everything happened the same day. So these drums are all programmed. Everything you hear here these are all just programmed drums. I use Modern and Massive, Adam Nolly, Get Good. Those are all of his names. He was the bass player for Periphery, and now is pretty much just an engineer. Maybe he's still the bass player for Periphery. But the man is a genius, and he makes great products. And he made these in Middle Farm Studios in England, and they sound great. Here they are. When I hear this isolated like this, I realize there's so much sub in the kick, and the drums sound kind of thin, but in the context of the mix, it works, and that's all that matters. This sounds so odd, isolated like this, but I mean, when you hear it. Really cool. That's probably like $100 or something to get those, and man, what a great $100 investment. So moving on, I guess I can show you the So Alone drum. You sit on a golden throne. This is the So Alone drum. I probably spent 2 hours making that. This. Why? I don't know. Did the song need it? Probably not, but it's there forever, so I'm happy about that. Another thing that happened very late in the process, like I said, the third time I recorded the song, was this originally had guitar through the whole thing right here. You sit on a golden throne, but you've never been so alone. I was just looking for a way to bring the dynamics down one more time to a lower level, because that post-chorus riff is like, the peak of the song from a dynamic standpoint. And I wanted to bring it down a little bit lower than it was, so that when, part B of the second verse kicked in, it had a little bit more of a impact. So I cut it down to just bass, drums, and then I wrote this weird lead, which I wrote this and I just kind of improv something in A minor, and it was this. And I don't know, in the recording, it pans from left to right and back and forth and stuff, and it has a lot of movement. But I didn't record this song on this computer. I recorded the song on a 2012 MacBook Pro laptop, and I was pushing it to its furthest capabilities. I'm talking every 2 minutes that I worked, I would wait 3 minutes, because I would get a rainbow wheel and I would have to change my buffer size and change it back to get moving again. That has a lot to do with why I just hated the mixing process for this song. But this part of the song. You sit on a golden throne, but you've never been so alone. It's true. This one's on you. When you said that you do just Now, the only thing cool I can say about this section of the song is that the way that I wrote this little lead here that goes over the main riff, right, that little moment there, it's highlighted, you can see it. That moment makes the kind of the bass chord go from A minor to A major just for a second, and that allowed me to write some kind of cool harmony moments where everything's in A minor and then it just lands in A major for a second, and that was a cool moment. I don't even know if you can kind of hear it by itself, like maybe just with the guitars. Right here. Then adjust back to A minor. But the only thing that, or the only reason that's cool is because the vocal harmonies that it allowed me to do in that exact moment there go to a cooler note. When you said that you do just about anything, they were there with a pen to announce a new king. Now you rule the world. Now, whenever I have a ridiculous vocal, I'm not ashamed of it. I'll totally isolate that crap and let anybody hear it, because whatever. You rule the world. You rule the world. That's a cool harmony. It's so sinister and weird. Let's see here. Let's play this thing. Let me put my. You rule the world. I think I did another layer. You rule the world. It's super dissonant and gross, isolated, but in context, it gives that part musically just a whole bunch of tension, you know? And then when it finally gets back to the A, it sounds good. Now, I'll play this little section here. This is my favorite vocal part in the song throughout the whole song, because it's just got some really cool harmonies, and this was an idea I got in the vocal booth. It wasn't in the demo. It was just something that I thought of when I was in there, and I thought, this could be cool. So I did it. I'm just going to turn everything on because it's a lot of tracks. Let's see here. So many harmonies. See, like most people would just have like a vocal harmonies bus and they could turn it on and turn it off. And I didn't do that. I did all this crap. So that's why I got to just siphon through here. Let's see here. Now that you're at the top and you've got what you want, is it everything you always thought it would be? Right here. Is it enough? It's never enough to say no. I just think that's cool. I don't know what chord that is. I have no idea, but it just sounds cool. Is it enough? No. A lot went into trying to make that part right there sound cool, and I was happy with it. And I tend to mix things way down as far as levels go, and then you almost don't get to hear them. But whatever, you know, why work on something for 30 hours and then just mix it down? I don't know, but a lot of people do it. So in the song, it kind of sounds a little bit more like this. I won't go through the whole thing again, but the pre-chorus does also have a couple of cool little harmonies. If I just put the main in there, main vocal, I don't know what, like main vocal intro. I don't know. There's no telling. There's no telling. Let's see here. Pre-chorus. No. All the harmonies are down here. No. 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 No, why not? Aw, it's pretty. All right, here we go. Because it kind of, it shifts into that. Yeah. This part is super dissonant and minor, and then it goes to A major right here at the pre-chorus for this first chord. So it goes from like the darkest, nastiest thing to this nice, like, oh. Is that enough? Is that enough? It's never enough to say no. Why not? I thought that this is what you wanted from the start. And that's another one of those cool little harmonies. And that's like, there's a moment right there where the guitar goes A major, A minor, and that's why you get that cool little harmony there. If you see this main light tune, like I said, I don't like to do a lot of tuning to vocals because I suck at it and I end up ruining them. So what I'll do is using Melodyne, I'll hit like select all, and I'll like move the pitch correction fader up until the second I hear something that just sounds a little like I don't want to have to fix that, and then I'm like, we're good. We'll just keep it like this. So yeah, that's my rule, is like try and do it the best I can. I don't want to have to fix anything. Just in case you were wondering, Ref G, Ref B, and Ref D, these tracks that are up here just going the whole time, this is what I reference for tones. I think I referenced this for drums. This is drums from a mix I like. I believe it was probably a Periphery song. Probably Prayer Position bass. I ended up not going that gnarly. It was more of just like an EQ thing I was looking for in the guitar. I think I put that in my bus. Not the best reference tracks for what I was recording, but I was truly lost with this. It was tough to make this sound good. Let's see what else. Sweet. That's all I got. I hope you enjoyed that. I have no idea how long I just went and babbled on. We'll find out, though. If you guys like this, I sure hope you do. I plan on doing this with every song once it releases, a couple weeks before the next release. Dive in and talk about all the crap that it put me through. Like this. Subscribe to us. And if you have any ideas of stuff you'd like to see content-wise, please let me know in the comments, because I'm sitting here at home every day like, should I do a series about, ukulele strings? And I have no idea what to do. So, but I'm also trying to write and record and mix and make the videos in time to get the next month's out. So it's kind of tough. Sorry, my dog's just walking around. That's what that noise is. But, all right, like this. Subscribe if you liked it. Drop a comment. Let me know you made it to the end. I appreciate it. I love you, because you're probably good people. Peace.